Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming, and thank you, Wendy and Natur-Tyme, for hosting this event. We're looking forward to answering tons of questions. So, I hate talking to people. I love talking with people, so feel free to ask any question. As my daughter states, I probably forgot more than I really know, which is crazy because it's almost 4 years. Actually, it is 4 years that I've been doing keto, and it took me 2 years to lose 152 pounds, so it's possible. And I think I was around the 45-pound mark where had I never lost another pound, I'd be okay because I'd never felt better. It just the benefits of keto, like no more medicine, the energy levels, the mental focus, it far surpasses the weight loss. So I know a lot of people that are in type 2 diabetic medicine, they revert that within 3 months. So basically, I'm assuming, I asked earlier, most everybody here is learning about keto or currently doing keto? Year and a half?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Are you loving it?
I am. I'm actually able to stick to it.
It is sustainable.
There's no cravings
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I'm not hungry. It's amazing.
It is. It's mind-boggling, right? Like after all we've ever learned and been taught all our lives, it is sustainable. And the fat, as long as you keep your fats up, that's what's going to keep you full and satiated. And it's a good, healthy fats. In this pamphlet, I had a couple pages, or a page that has, your proteins that you want to eat, your carbs, and your fats. But yeah, the fats is probably the most crucial part. That's a game changer. I always tell people, if you're not succeeding, 9 times out of 10 you don't have your fats in.
It just kind of goes against what I've known, as
Yeah.
far as, I guess a balanced diet or no fat. Low fat, no fat. It's
Yeah.
kind of the opposite of what is ingrained.
What's that? No. Sorry. So I went from 236 to 332 pounds following the low fat, low carb, or not low carb, but just every other diet, 236 to 332, trying to lose weight. The standard American diet, all those things. I mean, they work, and there's a diet out there that works for everybody. Weight Watchers works, Paleo works. It's whatever you can stick to that's going to work. But I found for myself and for most everybody that I've ever encountered that keto is what works and which is sustainable. But basically the idea behind keto is to turn your body into a fat-burning machine, and the only way you can do that is to eliminate the sugars in your diet. So now you're burning fat for fuel versus the sugars. So, who's got a question? I'm listening. It could be. Are you tracking?
Yes, I've been writing everything down and I'm taking my time slowly.
Do you know how much fat you're taking in?
About 100 grams.
100 grams of fat?
That's too much.
Can I just say something
Sure.
on that? I don't have a gallbladder either.
Okay.
And I've only been doing it for 11 days. In that time period, I really had a hard time with fat. Breaking them down into my whole digestive system. And I found out that you have to replace, you don't have the gallbladder, so you have to have bile added into it. So it's ox bile
Okay.
that you need to get. And there's a I think Pure puts out a brand that says Digestive GD, and it has a lot of good things in it, but that is one of the things that are in it, and you have to have it to help you break down fat, because if you can't break down the fat, then...
Right. Right, and there are going to be cases that probably have a little difficulty. I know people that have the gastric bypass can't ingest as much fat, so I don't know if with the gallbladder it's the same concept. I would probably, have you discussed it with your physician?
Well, I'm gonna be going.
Okay.
But I also had infection in my ovaries, so I had to drain.
Okay. Right.
So they took it out, and I had 3 infections after they took it out. So I had some issues.
So you might have to go more low carb versus high fat, which is still,
Lost weight. I
oh yeah.
lost 31 pounds.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Well, I'm doing a gallbladder either, and I've noticed that I tried doing MCT oil, even starting with a small amount, and not until I tasted the powdered MCT oil, I couldn't do it. The powdered MCT oil, I never tried without a gallbladder.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I personally don't like the powder, but a lot of people swear by it. It's supposed to make your coffee look a lot better. But yeah, the MCT oil, and I've been doing this for 4 years, I still have to do it like a teaspoon, and a teaspoon. A tablespoon is a little rough. So I suggest anybody that's doing MCT oil for the first time or have had a bad experience with MCT oil, break it down to a teaspoon per dose versus a full tablespoon, because it is a little tough on the stomach. So, does anybody, does everybody understand macros? No. So, yes.
Sorry, just to pop back to the MCT oil, could you explain more about what MCT oil is?
Sure. It is a medium chain triglyceride. It is basically 1 grade above coconut oil. So because it's not, as soon as you ingest it, it immediately gets sent to your liver and then sent and dispersed throughout your body. So it's like almost immediate. A lot of times I'll feel sluggish or, like not myself, and I'll just go take a little shot of the MCT oil, and usually within like 15-20 minutes I'm back to normal. It helps expedite your ability to get back into ketosis also. And it's a great healthy fat. I highly recommend everybody incorporating that in their diet. There's 14 grams of fat per tablespoon, and like I said, fat's what's going to keep you full and satiated. So as you tend to get into the keto lifestyle, you'll end up doing intermittent fasting. A lot of times I'll find if you only want to eat like in a certain window and you find yourself maybe a little hungry and the glass of water trick doesn't work or a cup of coffee, usually a teaspoon of MCT oil will curb your appetite enough where you're not breaking your fast. MCT, so medium chain triglyceride. So it's 1 grade above coconut oil. So back to macros. So ideally with your keto diet, your macros are a component of your calorie intake. So ideally you want your fats to be 70% of your caloric intake, and that's healthy fat. So MCT oil is one of them. Ghee, butter, the Kerrygold Irish cream butter. A lot of times I'll just throw that in my coffee, stir it up, and drink it. It's delicious. Cook with butter, no more margarine. Get rid of it. It's not good for you. Let's see. So you're going to do 70% basically of fats and then 25% proteins and 5% carbs. And these are all healthy carbs and healthy proteins. You're definitely going to stick with veggies that are above ground, not those that grow underground. Like 1 small baked potato, I think it's 26 carbs. It's crazy. Like I wish I would have probably started tracking long before I did keto so I'd know how many carbs I was eating. I was sharing this with somebody earlier today. Like 1 slice of cheese pizza is 31 carbs. I probably used to eat 2 a day. Like just in carbs, that was 3 times the amount of carbs I was eating with keto. So
it's 70% of healthy fat.
Mhm.
And the protein was
25.
and the carbs were
5%. And I'm a huge advocate of tracking. Without tracking, it's very, very difficult to know where you stand and know what you're eating, but it's easy to overeat. Like my last 8 pounds were hanging on like they were paying rent. They were not leaving. And I'm like, you're not my friends. You need to leave. Like you're getting evicted. And my trainer, Jill, was like, okay, let's go back to tracking, because I was 2 years in. You're not going to tell me anything. I already knew everything, you know? Like, I know what I'm eating. So I was eating probably 5 to 6 green peppers every day. And then I started putting it in the app, and all of a sudden that's like 25 carbs just in green peppers. So I knocked it down to 1 a day and dropped 6 pounds in a week. So even healthy foods, not in moderation, can definitely sabotage your goals. So that's why I'm an advocate of tracking. Like, you just need to know. It's just like budgeting your money. It's easy to overspend, yes. I prefer the Carb Manager app. MyFitPal app works well, but Carb Manager actually figures out net carbs. So there are some items that are user inputted. So you just have to kind of adjust it. Like, we've put most of our items in the app. So if you dine at either Dolce or Franco's, you can usually, in a perfect world, I can't control what they do, but usually most of our items are in there. But there are some, I mean, it's all user inputted, some of the items. And I think eggs sometimes have like 2 carbs, and I'm like, I don't know about that. But yeah, so you just want to make sure it's, you know, accurate too. You can always use Google just to verify if it's something you didn't or you think is wrong.
What was the other app?
MyFitPal app.
MyFitPal.
Mhm.
How many carbs a day do you eat?
I would say under 20.
Under 20?
Mhm.
You still stay under 10?
I'm under 10 now.
Oh, well, that's very
Yeah. It's really not. The bad thing with keto, somebody asked me today, what's the negative downsides to keto? It's no appetite. Like, you're just never hungry. There's so many recipes I want to try, and there's just no appetite to eat them. So, I mean, there are days that I get to 17, but most of them are 10.
If you have an alcoholic drink, what would it be?
I would stick to tequila or, you know, vodka or gin. You want to stay, actually Kettle One now has the infused vodkas. There's a grapefruit rose, cucumber mint, and a peach something. Yeah. Yeah. So we made like a mojito, but it's a voquito because it's vodka, not rum. So, you know, you have to improvise, but I would highly suggest, if you're going to drink alcoholic drinks, I would suggest liquor versus your wine or your beers. Mainly because not only do they go in as carbs, but they metabolize as sugar. At least with the liquor, if you're doing it with soda water or just straight on the rocks or like a Mio's or whatever, it only metabolizes as sugar. It doesn't go in as a carb. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a sugar yeah, it's just it's carbless going in. So like beer and wine, there's carbs going in, and then it metabolizes as your body's breaking it down into sugar. Where
Right?
yeah.
Momentarily, as opposed to taking it completely out of it.
Right, and then I suggest if you know you're going to drink today, pretty much stay carnivore keto, and so eat meat and fat. Don't eat any veggies and don't eat any cheese or dairy, so that way you're carbless all day and you're only drinking your carbs. And then I'd go carnivore keto the next day in hopes not to get kicked out. Because ideally the idea to get into ketosis is to stay under 20 carbs, maybe 30, depends on the body. You know what I mean? So if you go carbless, then it'll be easier.
What's a normal day for you? Do you eat 2 meals, or do you do intermittent fasting?
So as of right now, I do intermittent fasting. So I only eat from 1 to 7. But I will say in the beginning, the first 2 years, I would eat the 3 meals, sometimes just 2. It kind of depended. Like breakfast would be 2 or 3 eggs with some type of protein and some fat, whether it's cheese or butter. And then lunch would be a small salad with some type of protein. And I always put like some type of aioli, whether it was a chipotle or wasabi. I'm a firm believer that spice invigorates the taste buds, and you eat less, I believe, if you know you've eaten. You know what I mean? If it wakes up your taste buds and says, hey, listen, I already, you know what I mean? If it was something that didn't taste good, you just keep eating it and eating it, like, because you're not satisfied. So that's why I'm an advocate of spice. Question?
What would you have for dinner?
Oh, dinner. Same thing. Kind of like a small salad or some veggies with some type of protein, like meat. I'd say ribeye was probably a good go-to, salmon, shrimp. So, but I can't tell you enough. Probably 98% of my life is tracking, even to this day. So, it's easy to gain weight when you're not tracking. I can put on 7 pounds in a matter of like 5 days if I didn't track.
Did you use fat bombs in the beginning and then you tried not using them anymore?
I've never been a fan of fat bombs, but they work. They curb the, you know what I mean? So what I would do in the beginning, and I guess maybe this was my version of a fat bomb, I would take cream cheese and like soften it. And I know this isn't 100% keto, but you know the sugar-free Smucker's jellies? They have different flavors. I would take a little bit of each and put, like, you know, the little 4-ounce containers, put a little cream cheese in that and a little jelly and keep them in the fridge. So if I wanted something, like, that would be my version of a fat bomb. But the whole frozen thing, fat bomb, wasn't really, it just never appealed to me. But everybody swears by them. You love them? Mhm.
Cream cheese, lemon fat, lemon juice, and coconut, shredded coconut.
Okay.
Right, those two. And then erythritol.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds delicious. You just have to be careful not to overeat those. So, yes. Yeah. And well, that's the idea. So hopefully that little bit of fat will keep you satiated and it'll help you get your fats up.
So my sister-in-law, I've been doing it for a year and a half, and I track. I'm just like, I don't even like, I track. I'm like in the grocery store like a nut. So my sister-in-law didn't track. So I said, you gotta start tracking. And when she started tracking, she maybe lost 10 pounds maybe within like 3 months.
Mhm.
Then she started tracking, and she's been doing it a year and a half, and she's lost 110 pounds.
Yeah. Tracking is just, yep.
Because you think there's no sugar in something, you think it's enough fat, and then there's fake keto out there too.
Yes. Well, especially now that keto's growing. I know.
If it says keto on it, make sure you track it.
Yeah.
It really might not be keto.
Right.
So when you say track it, you're setting it against something?
No, I'm tracking it in my phone.
In your app.
In my app.
And it'll say,
Yep.
I mean, some of it, I use Carb Manager,
Mhm.
but some of it, when you're putting it in, I'm like, okay, that's not true, and I'll Google it, but I've been doing it long enough. But once you
Right.
realize that,
Yeah, and it becomes habitual. I mean, after a while, people tend to eat the same thing over and over again. So, you know, maybe a year later, maybe you don't track 98%, maybe you're tracking 80%. But then if you find yourself gaining a pound or two, then you have to go back to tracking because it's easy to slip and just, like with my green peppers. It was just that easy to just eat 8 of them or 5 of them a day because they're good and they're healthy and they're refreshing and it's summertime. Why wouldn't you eat green peppers? But they add up. I'm listening.
do you count calories?
I've never counted a calorie with keto. So your macros are a division of your calories. So as long...
So you have 72%.
With the app, you'll put down your current weight, your height, and your activity level, and it'll tell you basically, like on a 1,200 calorie diet, 70% would be maybe 100 grams of fat, and then maybe 65 proteins, and I don't know, maybe 18, 19 carbs. So as long as you're staying within the macros, as long as you're staying within your carbs, your protein, and your fat, then your calories will always be okay.
I think that's the hard part. Yeah.
Understanding that?
When you understand it, then
Yeah.
it's just fixed in.
Right. Well, because it goes against everything we've been taught all our lives. Most of the time we're a calorie counter, we go caloric deficient, and then next thing you know you're down to 1,200 calories. Next thing you know you're down to 800 calories. Now you're starving yourself. But with keto you don't have to starve yourself. I'm listening.
Explain to us when I'm brand new here,
Mhm.
how it is.
So basically, keto is the idea of burning fat for fuel versus sugar. So if you deplete your body of the sugars, it has no choice but to burn fat, which is a clean fuel. Does that make sense? What's that?
Well, can you explain what you could eat? She's diabetic.
Yeah, type 1 or type 2? Type 2. Most people will actually reverse their type 2 diabetes once they follow the ketogenic diet. But so on this last page, did you get one of these? So on the last page there's proteins that you can pick. This is, in the beginning, I'd say this is probably the easiest way to figure it out without tracking until you get used to tracking, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself and you want this to be easy. So just pick one protein, usually 4 or 5 ounces, and then you're going to pick 2 veggies, and then you're going to add a little fat. Once you get accustomed to that, then that's when you're going to want to start tracking it in a sense. So that way you get an idea of like what exactly you're eating. Nuts, extremely important. It's so easy to overeat nuts. I think 4 ounces of sunflower seeds is like 5 carbs. So if you're staying, nuts are easy. They're like evil. No. A 1/4 cup, yeah.
You understand what you're doing, so tracking helps you. If you look this stuff up and understand the carb component, you can basically push and control what you're doing. So like, for example, I used to put 1/4 cup of fish in my salad. I cut it down to 2 tablespoons because I realized I was getting a lot more carbs than I wanted in a 1/4 cup of nuts. So don't just go with a 1/4 cup of nuts. Look it up in Carb Management, look it up in an app to understand it.
Yeah. Macadamia nuts are a great source of fat. That's the only one that I encourage people to eat if you need fats and to keep in your car as a crutch to get you, so that you're not eating the Snickers bar or the Mallow cup or the Ho-Ho or the Swiss rolls. You know what I mean? If you're going to overeat a macadamia nut. Yes. That would have to be, was that the first one they brought out? The second one? Did it taste like an avocado? Orange creamsicle? So there was either an orange creamsicle or strawberry. Orange creamsicle? Yeah, they have I know there's orange extract because they were going to try and put oranges in there. So no fruit. Yes. Fat bomb, just as it sounds, it's all fat. So ideally the reason you would do a fat bomb is if you were like craving something, and it's instead of going to get the Swiss roll or the ice cream or it's loaded with fat, so then that way it'll keep you full. Usually, where's the 2 fat bombs you've probably done? Yeah. It's crazy. It's like we've made Thin Mints, like Girl Scout Thin Mints, 3 of them and you're full. If it was a real Girl Scout cookie, I probably would have ate 20 because you're never satisfied because it's all sugar. Where with keto, it's all fat, so it's filling, it's full, and it's not nutrient dense. So your body actually has to break it down.
Working out, did you ever add anything else, or you just stuck with what you normally eat today and worked out and had?
I never went over.
So you never added anything else in your supplement, anything else?
My pre-workout, which is a protein, it was Amino Energy, and I did it probably more for the caffeine than the protein. Optimum Nutrition.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that mainly probably for the energy.
My pre-workout match powder, coconut milk,
Okay.
prior to working out. So that gives me energy.
Right. Yeah, most of the pre-workouts most people do them for the...
Matcha.
Did you ever plateau, and if so,
I'm going to say I'm plateauing now because I've been trying to lose another 30 since January. So, and I know why I'm plateauing because I'm definitely not working out the way I was when I was looking to lose 150. But it's, I say this all the time, that trip to New York City, some days I want to get there in 3.5 hours, and some days I don't care if it takes me 3 days. So, did I want to lose the 150 faster? Probably. I'm not probably as aggressive trying to lose the 30. So, but it's what you put in, No, most people actually lose weight without working out. Yeah, no.
When you lose a lot of weight, usually the skin kind of goes really bad, and with everything I read, I haven't read anything about this in the keto.
A lot of people will increase their collagen. I've never. I've never taken any collagen supplements. But I worked out a lot. I would work out 4 days a week, sometimes 6. So in the beginning, I'd say that's probably why I don't have as much loose skin. But I mean, I still have it, but it'll go away.
Okay, so the healthy fat, what happens if you have high cholesterol? You're eating bacon and
So you're still following a formula. So you're not overeating your fats, and it's still the healthy fats. So I did a 3-year comparison, and my numbers were within normal range 3 years later. In the next couple weeks, I'll have another appointment to do a 4-year comparison, and then a comparison from last year. But in most of the keto groups that I've been in, most people's cholesterols have stabilized because it's still the healthier fats that you're eating. And we're not eating, at least 90% of everybody I know is not eating bacon like every day, all day. You kind of get sick of it. I think most of the fats are coming from the coconut oil or the MCT oil. I mean, you're a 1.5 years in. How much bacon?
I get my blood taken every 3 months when I started keto because I went to a physician first.
Mhm.
And I didn't do it to lose weight. I did it for depression. And it's the first time since I'm 15 years old that I'm not on the antidepressant.
Thank God.
So this is what I did. So my doctor has been watching. Yes, I lost 31 pounds doing it, but they wanted to make sure that my blood's the best it's been in 15
Yeah.
years.
Doesn't it feel good not to be on medicine?
But I don't eat bacon. I mean, at the beginning, I ate bacon like crazy because I was trying to figure out my fat.
Right.
But now I will drink MCT oil, or I will literally take coconut oil and put it in my mouth.
Me too, or butter. Yeah.
Butter with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
It is. It's different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's God's honest truth.
Yeah. Yes.
Carbohydrates increase cholesterol, it's fat, alright, so I agree with wholeheartedly that avocados and olive oil and coconut oil and all that, that we're saying bacon is not going to increase your cholesterol, fats are not going to increase your cholesterol, and carbohydrates increase your cholesterol.
Did you hear that?
But nobody wants to tell you that.
Yeah. She said your carbohydrates is really what's going to increase your cholesterol, and she's a doctor, so. Yes. Now, inflammation's probably 99% of the reason why I will never go back to a standard American diet. The acronym is SAD, S-A-D. Kind of fits it, doesn't it? But, yeah, the inflammation that you feel like when you cheat, it's just not worth it. Not for me.
I was just going to say, it's like if you flip a switch and you start this diet, it really does change your life. Really.
Yeah.
And the inflammation piece definitely is a huge difference. I wouldn't have believed it. I was corrected 20 years ago, and it had residual effects.
Mhm.
And I cannot believe the difference, and I've only been doing it 3 months.
It's crazy. I think I was about 3 months in. I think I lost 45 pounds, and I promise you, had I never lost another pound from that point forward, it didn't matter. I know one thing, I wasn't on steroids anymore. I forgot I even had an inhaler. I was doing like 1,600 milligrams of naproxen. None of that existed anymore. It was just over with.
Don't get discouraged if you're not seeing the pounds come off on the scale. Like the shape is going to change before the pounds come off.
Yeah.
So you see, so take it before picture. Take it in track. Like your shape is going to be the first thing to change. So don't be so focused on the scale that
Yep.
it's not what you want to do. Your body shape is going to change. And you're totally going to look different. Even if the number on the scale hasn't changed.
Yeah, I think I probably weigh a good 30 pounds more than I ever have. Actually, I've never weighed this size as an adult, or worn this size as an adult. So, as an adult, I would probably should be wearing 3 or 4 sizes bigger at this weight. So it does change. It takes a different, shape and form. And I mean, I don't care what the scale says anymore. As long as there's this body composition that's, healthier and yeah.
When do you're on the blood pressure? Go to your doctor.
I would say yes. That question was if you're on a blood thinner. So I don't understand the whole medical concept of keto. I can only give you a practical sense. Like on our keto page, any of the recipes that I share or any of the cooking videos, which I apologize because I wish I was doing them more often, but time just doesn't prevail. But they're all going to be easy and quick because I understand, we all have busy lives. It has to be an easy transition or else you're not going to do this. This is the rest of your life. So if it takes you 6 hours to cook dinner, you're just not going to do it. Right?
There's a lot of keto resources available. If your doctor doesn't want you to do it, and your doctor doesn't know about it, a lot of doctors don't know about it. The reality is there's a lot of resources. There's a huge doctor that has a website called dietdoctor.com. It's a wonderful resource.
Yeah.
Diet doctor.
It's probably one of the best resources out there. Yeah.
Facebook pages. If you're on Facebook, there's a lot of Facebook pages that are support groups, and so there's a lot of places you can go to get information on keto.
Yeah, and we have monthly keto mix and mingles at Dolce Vita. It was supposed to be tonight at Dolce, but we brought it over here to help answer, and facilitate some questions that Wendy's customers might have had here. But, we're trying because at the end of the day, dining out is probably your biggest challenge. I will tell you this right now. If you're going to go out to dinner, call that restaurant first. Have a plan. Just like if you were going to go on vacation, you'd plan it out. Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to get kicked out of ketosis, especially if you spent, all week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you go out to dinner or you buy tuna fish and you find out that there's breadcrumbs and sugar in it because you can't just trust. Reading labels is imperative. You will read more labels in the first 6 months than you probably ever in your whole life. But there's a lot of hidden sugars, there's a lot of hidden, carbs, and they're detrimental. So, yes.
What does it mean, kicked out of ketosis?
So, when you're in ketosis, you're burning fat for fuel. And it's like burning 93 octane gasoline. Your car just runs great. And I love being in ketosis. I hate getting kicked out. Have you ever seen somebody come out of surgery and they're groggy and foggy and just out of it? That's what it feels like to be out of ketosis. When you're in ketosis, you feel 25 for the rest of your life.
What's the average time that I usually get in? If I'm only on day 3 and I don't think I feel.
So I'm going to say 2 to 3 days. Are you keeping your electrolytes up? Okay, good job. Usually, if you're just starting keto, I'd say within 3 weeks you're definitely going to be in. Especially are you tracking? Yeah, you got to be strict keto. Yeah. I'd say within 3 weeks you're definitely going to be in. And then, say you had a cheat meal, it's going to take you a couple days to get back in. Carnivore keto will help speed that up because it's carbless, most meats, unless it's beef liver, which I just found out today after I ate 6 ounces. But, yeah, I thought it was carbless.
ketosis, but likely early on you're gonna come in and out of it, completely cheat. And so
Yeah.
it's dependent on how, the key to making this work is the carbs. It's not trying to eat all the fat, it's not, key is you're low carb, and you have an opportunity to learn something else. If you cheat on carbs, you're not gonna be in ketosis, you're not gonna.
Right.
What's the most carbs that you can eat that keeps you in ketosis? Is it under 50?
So I did a year of maintenance, and it changes for everybody. I could probably get to about 40 to 42 carbs a day before I started gaining weight or feeling like I was out of ketosis. I don't like how I feel when I eat that many carbs, so I won't do it.
Intermittent fasting will help you, like basically if you are eating a higher amount of carbs, intermittent fasting will be key to be able to go back into ketosis.
Yep.
And so you want to go, and again, there's lots of resources on intermittent fasting as well. But if, you want a window of food where you're eating a window until you're fasting every 16 hours a day, and that's going to help if you have a problem with it.
Yeah, and it helps your cells rejuvenate and reset themselves, and the mental clarity that you feel when you're in ketosis, yeah, it's just,
I feel like you run a marathon.
yeah.
In the long term, because you're going to have to understand how that might not be a prolonged process of ketosis might not be best for everybody. Is that understood really closely?
So my trainers have been doing it for over 20 years, and they're really healthy. So, yeah. And it's been around since the 20s. Originally it was devised to treat kids with epilepsy.
It's actually been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Before people started farming, everyone was a basic power diet, right? Once farming started, using agricultural grains, that we stopped doing it. But think about babies, because I was at a meeting and someone said, oh, well, anyone can do it, whatever. Babies are born in ketosis. And so ketosis is a natural physiologic state for the body. It's not,
Right.
not doing something strange. Bodies have been in ketosis for thousands of years.
Is ketosis actually gluten-free?
All keto is gluten-free. Yeah.
Do you think that the urine tests are accurate?
In the beginning, yes, but more is not better. At the end of the day, if you're really dark, where most people may think that that's better, that's actually a sign of dehydration. So, and against the newest studies, I'm still an advocate of drinking half your body weight in water. Yeah.
So on that but I did look it up and I found that the Keto Mojo app, device will test your ketones and your blood sugar level. It's a little bit more costly,
Yeah.
but it's pretty accurate. And on all the podcasts I listen to, it's the most recommended way to know where you're at in ketosis.
Is that
So
blood or?
it's
It's
blood. It's a
blood.
trick. It's like a no difference of trick that you do for if you were diabetic and you're testing your blood. You can get it online. It's Keto Mojo, MOJO. It's like maybe $60.
Yeah, so I will say this, that if you go to like the marketplace, like I myself bought it, and at this point I'll probably never use it again, so at some point maybe I'll put it on the marketplace. Check the marketplace first, because there's going to be a lot of ketoers that just won't test anymore, so they'll end up selling it. You know what I mean? But it's one of the best. She's absolutely right.
I did this just at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to trick myself, but I just can't.
It took me a long time. I was like, I used to have to make the employees do it. I'm like,
I go to the doctor maybe.
yeah.
But I can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, you'll know once you're in.
I know when I'm not.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a horrible feeling when you're out.
One of the things you want to be aware of is when you start, and you have to decide if you guys potentially have any keto food, or you're going to feel horrible. The key to that is make sure you're taking adequate salt. What
Yeah.
happens when you go keto is basically the decreasing your glycogen stores, the decreasing your carbohydrate stores, right? So which causes basically an actual issue where you're basically urinating more.
All day long.
You're losing sodium with it. So all the things about low sodium is not what you want. You basically want to salt your eggs. You want to put salt on your food, put salt on your vegetables.
And when I do the fasting, there's a lot of times I'll just take a couple of the Himalayan salts and put a couple crystals under my tongue. So, yeah. Stevia is great. I use xylitol, and I believe in here I might, in a perfect world, second to the last, yeah. Oh, this is huge, you guys. Take a picture of this and carry it with you in the grocery store. These are all the hidden sugars that will bring nightmares to you, especially the one that says maltitol. If you see it, just run. Don't buy it. Never buy anything that says maltitol, I promise. Just give it to your enemies. It's horrible. It's awful. But yeah, so the stevia, erythritol, and monk fruit. So regarding xylitol, anyone that has pets, it is highly recommended that you keep that away from your pets because it could be deathly. So I just want to put that out there. But yeah, this is a great list that you're going to want to keep with you. These are all the hidden sugars that will definitely kick you out of ketosis. So you don't want to pay to get kicked out while you're paying to get in a sense. Yes?
With the intermittent fasting, does the keto coffee, the bulletproof coffee, are you considered still fasting, or does that kick you out of the intermittent? Or is that not considered part of the fast?
So I guess it depends on who you talk to. Supposedly, if you stay under 50 calories, you're not breaking a fast. Most coffees are going to be 230 calories, your keto coffees or bulletproof coffee, whatever you want to call it. So that's actually a meal. So it could and it could not. I would suggest testing, and everybody's going to be individually different. So if it kicks you out, then that's, you know what I mean, it's a tough one to answer. So I, at times, will do my extended fast. The first day, I will do a fat fast, because it's hard to go a full day with no food. And I sleep like 4 hours a day, so I have to customize mine. So, you know, that's what I like about keto, is that you can actually individualize this. So there's going to be a day, maybe 2 days, that you want a Diet Coke. Is it advisable? No. But if it keeps you from having the regular Coke or the Ho-Hos and the, you know, the pizza or the, you know, all the non-keto foods, then by all means have the Diet Coke. Like, this is the rest of your life. Like, you're going to enjoy it. Some school of thoughts will say no alcohol at all. But, I mean, you have to live. Yeah, you're going to go to a wedding at some point, and somebody's going to buy you a shot. So, just saying. But.
So, when you say fasting, you're just not eating.
Correct. And that becomes second nature. No, it's you're pretty much cleansing and your body resets. What is it, autography, right? Autophagy. Yes. We can edit that later. Thanks. But yeah, basically you just want to reset your whole system. Like, if I had like this crazy weekend of like carbs, trust me, I'm going to try and fast as best as I can and just cleanse my system of all those toxins. And you don't realize how bad you felt every day of your life until you have a cheat weekend. And then you're like, whoa, this is how I felt every day of my life. You know, it's like that saying, you didn't realize you were feeling good until you started feeling bad. So, yeah.
So what about if you travel? Do you have to take stuff with you?
I highly recommend planning. Yep.
But how do you take some food with you?
Yeah, mozzarella sticks are a great source that you can take. Quest chips, they sell them here. They're amazing. Quest chips, they have nacho, ranch, sour cream and cheddar. I'm trying to think what else is a great. Peanuts, you want to keep some of them in the car. You can actually buy protein shakes, powders, and make protein shakes for yourself when you get to the hotel. But it's not worth being kicked out of ketosis. And if you're traveling along the way, you can find a diner. Most diners are pretty safe to Keto World. Because a couple scrambled eggs, just make sure they don't put pancake mix in there. But, you know, a couple scrambled eggs, yeah, trust me, it's a moneymaker. There's a lot of little hidden secrets out there.
I got stuck with chicken wings twice now that were breaded. But you would never
You have to ask.
Yeah, now I do ask, but I never thought that.
So if they come pre-breaded, I wouldn't even buy them because, like, we get fresh wings in and we bread them ourselves. But if you're gonna, I would never serve a pre-breaded wing. You don't know what's in it. So yeah, it's crazy the questions you're gonna have to ask. You know, some things you just take for granted and you're like, oh yeah, they don't do that. Yeah, okay. And actually with wings, salt and pepper is probably your best option. You do not want any of the sauces because 9 times out of 10 those sauces are filled with sugar. If they do not have heavy whipping cream for your coffee, chances are their Alfredo sauces are not keto. Chances are none of their sauces are keto. So, number one question, do you have heavy whipping cream for my coffee? If the answer is no, I just ask if it's butter, not margarine. You know what I mean? So.
Is heavy cream different than heavy whipping cream?
Oh, it's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when you'll see it in some of the rooms, you'll see HWC, heavy whipping cream. So, and most people with keto end up going low carb. So do you have to stay in keto for the rest of your life? Like, do you have to follow a keto lifestyle? No. Somebody had asked about the carb content. You could increase your carbs. I think 30 to 50 is usually where they want you to stay if you want to stay within low carb range. Net carbs. I don't know what that would translate to for a regular. Maybe 20? Full without net carbs?
For full carb intake?
Yeah.
Ideally, you're like 50 or less on full carbs.
Yeah.
Less than 20 ideally for keto. Total?
Net.
20 net.
Right. He was saying total carbs though.
Well, it's hard because it depends on what you're eating.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're eating, the difference between your net and total can be completely different totally based on what you eat. If you use something like Carb Manager, you'll understand whether your total carbs is close to your net carbs or it's not, and it's a function of the fiber. Track it out. The total carbs. So if you're eating high fiber, it's going to be different because that fiber carbs is usually going to absorb. If you're eating low fiber, then it's pretty much going to be similar anyway.
So Kalamata olives are free. It was like gold. The fiber cancels out the carbs. You can eat them all day long. Except for the calories, you know, but Kalamata, they're delicious.
Is that the same thing with avocados then, too?
No, avocados does have carbs. The fiber does cancel out, but it's not a zero carb. So there's still, I think it gets down to 3 net carbs. It's still minimal. I mean, it's still a better option. It's one of the better options. So, what's that? Yeah, yeah. So, those that have been doing keto for a little while, what are your struggles? So that new people might understand that it's not that easy, but it's not that hard.
My struggle is not eating.
No appetite?
I have to tell myself to eat. I will not eat. Like, when you say travel, like, I could go an entire 6 hours and not eat.
Yeah.
I've been doing that so long. And fruit.
Yeah, sometimes I just have to go play with the fruit in the cooler, and I'm like, oh, you're so pretty, but you're so bad for me, you know? Well, strawberries you can do in moderation, like 3, yeah. Yeah, blueberries do that. They're my kryptonite.
Blueberries, they're really good.
Yeah, so fruit's hard.
They're okay, but in extreme moderation.
Berries are the best if you want it. You have to eat fruit. Berries. Oranges and apples are just like
Yeah.
dangerous. If you're gonna eat fruit, think of fruit is sugar, it's easy to you have enough after meal, you've got fat, protein in your gut.
So, yeah. So fruit would be my cheat. 10 grapes at one point kicked me out of ketosis, and that's 10 little grapes.
I had strawberries, which doesn't okay.
Yeah.
But that's like my cheat.
Yeah.
But when I'll like put heavy cream on it and everything, and like maybe the fat will just
Yeah, like even it out, like the Kalamata olives. You gotta throw some fiber in your strawberries. We gotta find some fiber to throw in there. Benefiber.
But the eating part, like once
Yeah.
you're in it, it's really difficult to remember to eat, because I don't have to eat.
No.
And it's like weird. Like I'm not hungry.
Right, right. And people think that you're starving. Like I started doing a 72-hour extended fast, eat one meal, and then a 48-hour fast, and then eat, and then do the 72-hour. And you're not hungry. Obviously the first day, like I said, I still do the fat fast to hold me over, but by lunchtime there's like minimal fat. Your body just gets accustomed to it. It's crazy.
Well, in all of this, I mean, water is really important.
I still am an advocate of half your body weight in water. There's a new school of thought, I don't know where it came from, but it's saying that that's a false tale and it's not needed. I don't know. I'm still going to drink my water.
You're more thirsty just naturally, I think. Because I always drank water before and you're enough, but now that I'm keto, I'm drinking a lot more water. Just subconscious.
Yeah, well, I say that that's a good sign. Like, that's a sign that you're in ketosis. And that metal flavor taste in your mouth sometimes. It's, huh? Yeah, like those are the couple signs that you're like, oh yeah, I'm in ketosis. I don't need to test. Who needs a pea strip or a mojo or whatever? Like your body will tell you.
The lady was talking about the inflammation with the accident there. How long did it take before you noticed a relief and some problems caused by inflammation?
Maybe a month. I mean, it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost almost 30 pounds.
So the stricter you are, the sooner you'll feel the benefits.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll say about inflammation is when I have gone and cheated. I have arthritis and I've had one knee replaced and I'm waiting for my other one surgically. But when I eat something and I knock myself out of ketosis, the very next day I know my knee is screaming and it's the inflammation.
Yeah.
The inflammation, and I'm talking the very next day, I can feel it. It's awful.
So,
Why did I do that?
yeah, that's the whole thing. You're like, why did I just do that? But it's like getting drunk and waking up with a hangover. You're like, I already knew that was going to happen. Why? But you still do it sometimes. But back to the inflammation, I started putting turmeric in my coffee, the seasoning. I just sprinkle it right in there. It changes the flavor a little bit. But the inflammation being gone and the pain being gone far surpasses the flavor. Literally 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and both of them get a sprinkle of turmeric. Damn, it's like a half a teaspoon for each one, so yeah, it's a sprinkle. It's a heavy sprinkle. Sprinkle, stir, and drink.
I use it turmeric also, but you don't have to have it in your coffee. I mean, you talk
Yeah.
about spice in your food.
Yes, yes, yes. What is it, the Indian culture? That's basically all the, listen, before medicine, what do we have? Herbs. That oregano oil that she sells out here is amazing. If you're feeling sick, it'll knock it right out. Tastes a little funny, but it's all right. It's worth it. Questions? Yes.
I don't do well with dairy. What is your suggestion for kind of cheese?
So are you lactose?
Dairy. Yeah.
Because a lot of the cheeses are lactose free also.
I have a lot of trouble with cheese.
What part of the cheese?
I don't know.
Is it the...
I get these bumps on my legs.
Oh, well then I'd probably stay away from it. But like goat cheese too?
I don't really like it very much.
Oh.
But I've tried to use coconut in place of the dairy, but
Coconut milk?
yeah,
Okay.
not cream. Like I
Yeah,
make
there's a
my
lot
own
of people though that...
yogurt.
Yeah, but no. You don't want to eat yogurt?
No,
No, there's a lot of sugar in yogurt.
no, I make my own.
Oh.
No sugar.
Oh, okay.
I don't use any sugar.
So how do you make the yogurt though? What are you using?
Coconut, canned coconut.
Mhm.
And I put 1 teaspoon of vanilla
Okay.
in it, and that's it. That's all I use.
Do you mix it? How does it get to yogurt consistency?
Culture it.
Oh.
For 24 hours.
Okay. So that gives you a reaction though?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But that's quite a bit of fat right there.
Yeah. As long as you're getting your fats in, like you don't have to have cheese, you don't have to have dairy. There's a lot of people that do, like I was saying, there's so many variations of keto. There's vegan keto, which I don't know how they do it, but they do. So that's no dairy. So if you look up vegan recipes, you might be able to get some ideas. There's a huge vegan community in Canada. So, are you on Instagram? No. Okay. It's okay. I was liking that. It fit. Yeah. Any more questions? Yes.
I don't know if this helps, we started to go on keto, and I want to drink more water, no soda, no beer, and any other stuff. We bought a soda stream, and we're using it, not with the flavors.
Right.
Straight water, the CO2, I like it. It tastes fine, and I drink a lot more water with it.
Really? Do you put any of the extracts to flavor it at all?
No,
Yeah.
straight from the tap to the machine to my glass.
Okay.
And, I don't know, it goes down easier, it tastes good. It's
Yeah, some people really need the carbonation. Yes.
When you say no yogurt, you mean even full fat plain yogurt?
There's like one out there I think that you can have, but you're really going to want to check the ingredients because almost all of them are high in sugar. Like you don't want like the hidden sugar, you know, if it says cane sugar, you have to stay away from it. But that's a given. But then there's all these other ones that are like thrown in there that you're like, whoa, I didn't even know that had sugar in it. Sugar is very addictive, and I think it's actually more inflammatory than the flour.
Kefir's a lot like yogurt, and you can get kefir culture here
Okay.
and make it in 24 hours.
Okay. So there's a suggestion. Yeah.
It's very easy to make your own yogurt. And you use raw milk if possible.
What kind of milk?
Raw milk.
Raw?
Raw if possible.
Okay.
And you add a little bit of the yogurt before. That's it. And then you wait. Or if you have an instant sauce, it's like quick. It's very fast.
Okay.
There is a brand out there, it's new by, one of the main yogurt makers, that's 2 grams, 3 grams of sugar. 2 grams of, yeah.
Oh, too good.
Carb. Right, 3 grams.
Really? It depends on probably the sugar.
It has the sugar in it, that's why, I bought it too, but it took me lactose. So
Yeah.
it's very easy for me to go lactose, I don't know why. So don't,
But you get back in just as quickly.
I get back in really quick.
Yeah.
I don't really do any of that anymore. I did for a while, and I was like, I didn't like how I was feeling, so I was like, I'm strict.
Yeah, that's,
But there's a difference.
it's like putting your hand back in the fire. It's like it's not worth it anymore. So, I get it.
You know, once you're into those, and it's like you went out and lived the night before your friends got wasted, and the next morning it was white. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you don't want to get upset. It's almost like a depression.
Well, Christmas, I went and ate. My sister decided we weren't going to do keto. She told somebody. But anyways, took me 2 days. Like, I slept for like 2 days. I normally sleep 4.5 hours a night. I couldn't get off the couch the next day. I was dead. It's that carb flu. Like, you know, after Thanksgiving, you eat that dinner and all you want to do is lay on the couch. Like, when you're out of ketosis, that's exactly how you feel once you've been in ketosis. Like, that's the best comparison. Just horrible.
gum and those kind of things.
The thickeners? Yeah. I use a small amount and then add a little more as you go.
Because I'm thinking that that's in the canned coconut milk.
Gar gum? So gar gum you're going to use in your colder items, and xanthan gum you're going to use like in your gravy, your heated stuff. But it's a great stabilizer and thickener.
There's a lot of carbs in xanthan gum.
Yeah, but when I say you only need a little.
Some recipes call for a teaspoon.
Yeah, but how much are you making?
I'm just saying, that's like 4 carbs. You're adding
For a teaspoon?
You have to watch it.
Right.
Cereals in a dish.
Right, you have to, so like those peanut butter cookies that I put online on our Facebook page, the whole recipe is 26 carbs. So then at that point, like you're going to have to decide, do I want to make 13 cookies? Am I going to make 26 cookies? And I am an advocate of pre-portioning. Do not leave that dough on one big cookie. Like when you're making the ice cream, portion it. And then that way that's all you're eating. Because I promise you, it's easy to eat the whole pint of ice cream. And it's going to...
Find something you like that tastes like a cookie. I was like, oh, I made these peanut butter cookies. I ate the whole
Yeah.
batch.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, this is like...
Yeah. Yeah, and then you're like, okay, 26 carbs later.
I probably should have spread it out for the
Yeah.
week, but
Yeah.
it's like, was so exciting.
Well, you know what somebody had asked about the fat bombs, but what I used to do in the beginning is, and trust me, I'm not a genius, this was definitely an accident, in Lily's morsels, they cost $5 a bag, $6 depending on where you're going. I left them in the car. There was no way I'm throwing away $6 worth of chocolate. It's not happening. So I took it inside, and I cut a little slit, and I put a little chocolate in each ice cube tray. And then I took peanut butter. Make sure when you're buying peanut butter, it's all natural. It's only peanuts and oil. You took a little peanut butter and dropped in each ice cube tray, and those are my Reese's peanut butter cups. It's quick, it's easy. If you squeeze the chocolate out of the bag, you don't even have to double boil. There's no washing, there's no nothing. Like, I can be lazy sometimes too. But it's the best thing out there. And I think Lily's the best chocolate out there too, the morsels. The Chalk Zeros are great. Skinny Girls chocolate are great, but you have to order them online. So, in a pinch and you're in the city, Wegmans, Lily's morsels.
Do you
Yeah.
ever find any low-carb wraps that you like?
What's that?
Any low-carb wraps?
So, the coconut wraps. They're, I'm pretty sure she sells them here. I think she only has the cinnamon ones here, which you can make a dessert out of those if you'd like. They're a little carby, 4 carbs per wrap. Like in my head, I think they're carby, because if you're going to stay under 10, that's 4 right there just on the wrap. But if you're staying under 20, it's fine. And if you're only doing it like once a week, they seem to be the best. And I think if you warm it just a split second on the grill, they roll really nicely. Do you know which ones I'm talking about, the coconut wraps?
Yeah, I thought they were just a little bit stiff.
Right. So if you put it on the skillet, like whatever you're cooking, or just for not long, and I promise you, 10 seconds, like don't walk away. I learned my lesson. But I'm listening. Question? No?
Oh, no, I was playing with this.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Is peanut butter better than almond butter?
I don't know if there's much of a difference. I'm assuming the almond butter might be a little carbier than the peanut butter. But I will say this. Peanuts are inflammatory. So is your peanut butter. So proceed with caution. And it doesn't affect everybody that way, but for me, I have to be very careful with peanut butter.
What happened?
I have to untie my sneakers. Yeah, I'm just like swollen all over. Look, 3 months pregnant.
And you use peanut oil?
Peanut oil. I don't know. No? So my favorite question through all my 4 years, I go to Google, I'm like, is peanut oil keto friendly? Like, whatever my question is it keto friendly? Like, that's how I end every Google search. Like, yeah, because you never know, And Google pretty much knows everything.
Peanut. It's not a nut.
Oh.
beans, of the beans family. And so I don't hardly ever use peanuts.
Yeah.
I use almond butter, it's a nut.
Okay.
And when I make fat bonds, I use almond butter, and it's still, you know, you whip it up, it's nice and light with your cream cheese and your Kerrygold butter.
Right. I love Kerrygold butter. Yeah. On bread? The 90-second bread is... who's made the 90-second bread? Who loves it? 90-second bread? It's amazing. So you get a little coffee mug, right? Or you do the cappuccino soup mug. Depends on what size you want your bread. And then you put like, I think it's a tablespoon of butter, and you microwave that. So then I season my butter when it comes out, depending on what I'm going to eat. So like, say for instance it was a breakfast sandwich, I'm going to throw some Parmesan cheese in there. If it's chicken, I'm going to throw some Cajun seasoning. If it's a burger, I'm going to throw Italian seasoning. So you season your butter at that point. And then you take 1 egg, a quarter cup of almond flour, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and you stir that up, and you put it in the microwave for a minute and 30 seconds. You take it out, plop it out, cut your little sandwich, and it's perfect. You have bread in 2 minutes whenever you want it. Almond flour, quarter cup.
You said baking soda?
Powder. 1/8 of a teaspoon. Are you on Facebook? If you guys, I have the video on the keto page.
Is that the bread you use at the restaurant? What bread do you use?
No. At the restaurant, we took our bread from next door and keto-fied it. That takes an hour from start to finish. Listen, yeah, even at home, I still do the 90-second bread. I'm not making that bread at home.
And then how, in the microwave you said? How long?
1:30. So, yeah, no, 1:60. 90 seconds! 90 seconds! Oh my God. That's why it's called the 90-second bread. Oh my God. I'm like, wait, what? I need some Mct oil. See what happens when you don't have enough?
And if you're talking about bread, let's talk about bagels.
The fathead, okay, anytime you see anything that says fathead recipe, it's a good, stable recipe to sample. I know it's a pain in the butt trying to make things with keto, but if you see fathead on anything, it's a good go-to. So the fathead bagel recipe is decent.
I just want to tell you that your pretzels are delicious.
Thank you.
Like, they just hit the spot.
Yeah, that's what I missed for 3 years. So Annie Ann and I had to have a breakup, and he can just stay over there and whatever. I'll never go back to him. I don't care how good he looks, smells. I made my own pretzels. But I'm glad you're enjoying them, yeah. Yeah, that whole menu is everything I missed for 3 years. So the crab cakes are probably the biggest heartache. So, questions?
So how do you put that into keto diet?
The crab cakes? We just
Pretzels.
we substitute all the flours out. Most everything with keto, almond flour seems to be the best. On our keto page, there's a couple videos like for pancakes and French toast and cereal. The salted caramel cereal is the best. So I bought the Magic cereal, which is pretty good, but yeah, I couldn't stop eating it. So
What was the best?
the salted caramel cereal. So you just take some pork rinds and you break those down, and then you take some butter and some xylitol and you crystallize them and like caramelize them on the pan, and then you throw a little heavy cream, some cinnamon, stir that up together, and then you throw your pork rinds in there and you stir it up. They get a little covered and coated in the caramel sauce. You throw it in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes. Then you throw some almond milk on there. You throw some cocoa nibs or some almonds. It's delicious. It's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. And it's just pork rinds. So pork rinds are a great no-carb snack. So it's the only way I can eat them. It's crazy. I cannot, like, do you bread with pork rinds?
I bread
Yeah, I can't do it. I'd rather bread with coconut flour. Yeah, yeah. Chicken wing dip is your friend. Keep it in your fridge. Spinach artichoke dip is your friend. Keep it there. You get late night, I'm telling you. I try to stay as strict keto as I can, but if it's a choice between a Big Mac or ordering food from like some Chinese restaurant, eat the chicken wing dip. Eat the spinach artichoke. Plan ahead and just have those little devices in place. The wisps, they're pretty good. Costco sells the wisps and the moon cheese. Wisps, WHISPS. The only thing I found with those is that it's easy to overeat. So you have to know yourself. You have to know that what your triggers are. Like say at the end of the day, like blueberries, I can't eat them. I'll bite your hand off. If you took one little blueberry, and there's 19 carbs per cup, I can probably eat 3 cups. So you have to know yourself. You have to know what, like yours, the strawberries. We are all unique. So we all have something that's going to knock us out or might be keto approved, but just you can't have it. So,
I think you could figure that out. It's like your own body.
Yep.
You know, my sister-in-law can eat 2 cups of strawberries and she's fine.
Right.
I can't even look at them.
Well, Josh, one of the kids in our group, he can eat a Snickers bar and and he'll be kicked out, but then he's back in like in an hour. And I'm like, God, to be 25 again. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. Right. And how active you are. And, you know, because a good workout will help you get back into ketosis too. You know what I mean? It's not that you have to work out, but it's advantageous. You know? Yes.
Say a theoretical question or maybe a real question. A person who's heavy-weighted, maybe 150 pounds or so overweight, goes in the keto and loses the weight. Does their skin, outside skin, shrink, or what happens with the skin?
I can show you my arms.
Well,
I mean,
does it go back or does it
yeah, I mean, the elasticity will eventually come back, you know what I mean? And the more you're going to work out, the less likely that'll happen. But I lost 152 pounds in 2 years, and it's minimal. I mean, you know, it's 40 years worth of skin, so. But it does go back. Yeah, and it's nowhere near. If I lost that weight overnight, it probably would have been a lot worse. But it took 2 years. And actually, at the end of the day, if you did it and you did the math, it's less than 1.5 pounds a week. So.
I just have to share. It might be a little personal. But this is the only diet I've ever done where I didn't lose my weight.
Yeah, I can't say that.
It's like every other diet, that's the first place it goes, but it
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
You're lucky, yeah. Somebody was like, yeah, people pay $7,000 for those. You just pay $7,000 to get rid of them.
Okay, so you probably went over this, but the MCT oil, can you tell me like what that is and what place you use it in?
So your MCT oil is a medium chain triglyceride. So that means that it's already been broken down. Or, yeah, it's ready to be used. It's 1 grade above coconut oil. So my thing is with this. So if you're going to take your MCT oil and mix it in coffee or mix it in your whatever, your shakes and stuff, then just stick with coconut oil. Because the MCT oil costs so much more. So, but if you're just going to drink it straight like a shot, then you're getting the full benefits of the MCT oil because it immediately gets dispersed throughout your body and you're going to feel the benefits. It'll help expedite your jumping you back into ketosis. It's a great appetite weight supplement in a sense. And then it's a great healthy source of fat. Like it's 14 grams of fat for a tablespoon. So I personally, now a tablespoon is tough. It can definitely hurt your stomach. So I do a teaspoon at 11, a teaspoon at 3, and then a teaspoon at 9 p.m. If I'm feeling sluggish and I'm feeling tired and I need an energy boost, I'll take another teaspoon. Like it's almost immediate.
So for your coffee, I know you said that you put turmeric in there, so you put turmeric and MCT oil in your coffee?
I put coconut oil or butter. My MCT oil I drink straight, yeah. So my first cup of coffee gets a tablespoon of coconut oil and some turmeric. And if I'm feeling fluffy, I'll throw some heavy whipping cream. Usually I don't feel fluffy. And I just stir that together. And then my second cup gets a tablespoon of the Kerrygold butter, the turmeric, and I stir that up. Like I said, every once in a while, like a lot of people will throw it in their blender, or they'll buy the immersion blender and make it frothy. But it's just one more thing to clean.
You don't start just eating fat. If you start eating fat and you're still eating carbs, you're going to gain weight.
Yes.
Okay? The key to this working, and you can eat the fat, is that you're low carb. The key to all of this is low carb. You have to be low carb for this to work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't just start eating fat and think that's the answer. You're not losing weight eating fat and carbs. You're going to gain weight with fat.
Yeah, you can't do both. So you have to cut your carbs, and you eat your fat to keep you full so that you're not eating more and that you're fueling your body with fat. You know what I mean? But yeah, you can't have the best of both worlds. Those carbs gotta go. We're evicting them today, right? Yes.
Any suggestions for good websites for
Diet Doctor is probably the most resourceful website out there. And you don't have to buy anything. These erogenous, how do you pronounce that stupid word? Erogenous ketones. Don't buy them. It's not necessary. Your body will make those ketones. If you limit your carbs, your body will make the ketones. You don't want to drink them.
The key is you want your body to make the ketones, so that way you're burning the fat. If you take outside ketones, then you're not burning your fat.
Right.
You got to keep that in mind. All the fat bombs and all that stuff. Fat bombs can slow your weight loss down. Right? Because the goal in all of this is you still got to be aware of kind of like, you're not counting calories, you got to be aware of, be aware of it. Because if you want to burn your fat, you can't keep eating fat bombs.
So you're right. You have to stay within that formula. Because if you're, say for instance your formula is 100 grams of fat, if you're ingesting 120, it's going to burn those 20 before it burns these 20. So you want to stay under, but if you're still hungry, then you need to increase your fat a little. You know what I mean? So the fat's going to keep you full. But yeah, you can't go over on your fat, and you can't keep your carbs up and your fat up and expect. It's a formula, just like any other. Weight Watchers is a formula. Paleo's is a formula. They all work. You just have to follow it. You know what I mean? So that's why I say that one list at the back page here where it says pick a protein, pick a veggie, and pick a fat to start. That's a great way to start until you start learning a little bit more. And like Dr. Beth said, at the end of the day, when you start inputting the information in your app, now you're starting to remember, okay, it's 51 calories for every tablespoon of heavy whipping cream, and it's 1 carb. So now you know, like, okay, if I'm trying to stay under 20 carbs and I have 20 cups of coffee, well, I can't put cream in every cup of coffee because that's 20 carbs right there. You know what I mean? So it's a learning experience, and trust me, it's 4 years and I'm still learning. Every day I'm still learning. And helping you guys is helping me learn. So thank you for coming. So, yes. And if you're on Facebook and you have questions, ask me anything. It might take me a while to answer. If you go to the Keto Life with Dolce Vita, if I give you my name, there's 5 of us with the same name. Chances are you're not going to find me. Yeah, because we're all named after my grandmother. And half of my cousins still use our last name, and, but yeah, it's tradition.